Eject.
Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It's another episode of Paralegal Reacts, and it's back to the Johnny and Amber Heard case. I've missed you guys so much. It's been so long, and definitely there's been lots of things that have happened. Lots of subpoenas filed, lots of demands for documents. It's been a lot. But today I want to talk about, well, for starters, we know that the case got pushed back to, just a sec, April 11th, 2022. I saw like some people on Twitter were complaining, this is so disappointing, but honestly, it's a really good thing. As someone that works in law, trust me, trials can really come up at you really quick, especially with COVID, how it's probably going to delay getting information and things like that. So I think it's a good thing, and also because they want a jury trial, right? So they're actually quite lucky, because where I'm from here in BC, in Canada, they're just not doing jury trials at all. Like you get a judge trial and that's it. I guess they didn't want to postpone it or anything, but so I get it's better that he can wait and get the jury trial that he wants, as opposed to having to move forward in May and just have the judge, because we all saw how well the last one worked out. So I think it's for the best, and also it gives more time to gather information and not be rushed and really have things, spick and span, because it's basically the end of February now. Next month is March. Next month is March. It's too soon. It's too soon. And especially with how contentious things are, there's things going back and forth that, they just cannot get along. So there's no way that they would have been ready to go for trial for next month. They're still doing depositions, which I don't know what the court rules are, but in BC, that's way too close anyways. You wouldn't be able to do a deposition that close to a trial. So just in terms of how far along in the trial or the case that they would not be able to pull off a trial that soon. So I can see that there's been definitely lots of back and forth, lots of Amber accusing Johnny Depp about not providing full disclosure. However, she doesn't even know what that disclosure is. Basically, all her requests have been what we call a fishing expedition. She's just trying to ask for everything, basically. She doesn't know what she's asking for. So how can she know that something's missing if she doesn't even know what she's looking for, if that makes sense? It just simply doesn't exist. And yeah, it's just really wild. And how come no one's talking in the court things about, it coming out that Amber didn't donate that money? I would think that it would be brought up a lot more. I think maybe it's just a way to deflect. A lot of times, what people will do, they'll try to deflect. For example, where I work for defense, for insurance defense, and the onus is on the plaintiff to provide, the documents proving they're injured and things like that. And there's been times when the plaintiff doesn't even give us their list of documents, and they're demanding our documents. Which to me doesn't make sense, because we actually ask you for your documents, because you have to prove that you're the ones injured. So for example, that would be a deflection tactic, trying to kind of point the finger at the other person, trying to stall, things like that. So I definitely think that's kind of what's been going on here. But I think for sure the craziest thing to me is the fact that Adam Waldman is going to be deposed, which is just crazy to me. I guess you can subpoena anyone that you want to. It just is up to the other side to try to squash it. I guess it wasn't able to be squashed, which I don't know, to me is just wild, because even though he's not technically counsel on record, there's still attorney-client privilege, like that doesn't go away unless the person, like that your client actually waives it. So I don't know what they think is they're going to accomplish there, but I just kind of tried to look up a little bit of what the rules are about attorney-client privilege in Virginia. So under the qualifications for quashing or modifying a subpoena, which I got this from Cornell Law School, it says, when required on timely motion, the court for the district where compliance is required must quash or modify a subpoena that fails to allow reasonable time to comply, which actually that did happen. She didn't give proper notice, so that was squashed the first time, or maybe it wasn't even the first time, but the last time. Or 2, requires a person to comply beyond the geographical limits specified in Rule 45C. 3, requires disclosure of privileged or other protected matter if no exception or waiver applies. Or 4, subjects a person to undue burden. So I don't know where I'm sitting from, or maybe where in the country that I come from. I definitely think that your attorney qualifies under, rules like the subsection 3, the requires disclosure of privileged or other protected matter if no exception or waiver applies. I'm pretty sure that Johnny Depp didn't waive their privilege. So my thinking here is that maybe they want it to go ahead, because if Adam is someone that likes to go off on Twitter, this is his chance to maybe go off a little bit more. And I guess he can be selective in a way when he does answer, because most things will fall under privilege. So, which also leads me into when should a witness not answer a deposition question? You don't have to answer every deposition question, and in some cases you shouldn't. I got this from Casimo website, but it's a Virginia-based website. It says, your attorney has prepped you for your deposition. You're pretty clear on what will happen, who will be present, and what you should do if you're unable to answer a question. But what if you can answer a question, but you don't think you should? This is a typical occurrence of many depositions. While a deposing attorney will ask questions that are relevant to the case, they may also repeat questions to make sure your answers are consistent, or ask questions that are meant to embarrass or enrage you. Often, these questions will be damaging to your case if you answer them truthfully. And of course, you have sworn to do so. So, what are your options? Which questions shouldn't I answer in a deposition? You can object to any questions in a deposition, but you may be compelled to answer if a judge overrules the objection in court. In many cases, questions that do not have to be answered fall into 3 categories, which are private information. You have a right to refuse any questions about a person's health, sexuality, or religious beliefs, including your own. The opposing attorney will have to explain how your answer has a direct bearing on the case in order to compel you to answer. Or irrelevant information. Any question that you think is improper or does not have any bearing on the outcome of the case may be irrelevant. If one of these questions is answered, your attorney will likely stop you from answering and object on your behalf. If he does not, you may object to the question yourself. And 3, and most important of all, is privileged information. Confidential conversations that take place between a doctor and a patient, you and a psychiatrist, a lawyer and his clients, or a confession given to a priest are examples of privileged information. So this guy is literally his lawyer. So I'm pretty sure that falls under privileged information. So in a way, if you look at it, doesn't that kind of give Adam Waldman a bit of a kind of a leg up? Because the questions that he doesn't want to answer, he can say, oh, privilege. But the ones that maybe he does want to answer, or that might, make Amber look bad, then he'll be able. So it's almost like he may be able to pick and choose. I don't know. That's kind of what I think, because he is literally the guy's lawyer. So if anything, that might give him more room to kind of pick and choose when he wants to speak, I would think. And then I found something called the University of Richmond Law Review. It's like a little pamphlet ebook discussing attorney-client privilege. Specifically limitations, which is wavering. So obviously there's the attorney-client privilege, but there are certain instances where that can be waived. So let's see in what instances would that apply, and let's see if it is relevant to the situation. So it says the attorney-client privilege will not apply where the client, by his conduct, waives his right to assert the privilege. Pretty sure Johnny's not going to do that. An express waiver of the privilege is easy to determine. However, implied waivers can be a pitfall for clients. Certain actions, such as alleging inadequacy of counsel and testifying at trial, may constitute an unintentional implied waiver. So I'm pretty sure that Johnny is ride or die for Adam, so I don't think he's trying to say he's inadequate. We all know why they had to split ways. It was nothing. It's because he was forced. It says if a client attacks his attorney's conduct, he waives the privilege, and the attorney may testify regarding privileged communications in order to defend himself. So I would think that more so applies in a case where, say, if you're trying to sue the lawyer saying you didn't represent me properly or whatever, then of course the lawyer has the right to defend himself. And it says, where a prisoner files a petition for habeas corpus based upon inadequacy of counsel, the Virginia Code provides that the privilege is waived to the extent necessary to permit a full and fair hearing for the alleged grounds. So again, so far, none of that is applicable. It says, generally, when a party testifies as to communications with his attorney, this is literally the attorney testifying about communications with his client. It's so fucking weird. It says he has waived the privilege and has no grounds for objection if the other party calls the attorney to the stand. However, if the party offers his own testimony concerning matters other than communications made to his attorney, there is no waiver of the privilege, and neither the party nor his attorney must testify regarding confidential communications. So basically what that means is, I actually had that happen one time working as a paralegal where they actually forwarded the lawyer communication to us, and that technically that means that you're waiving that privilege. So say if Johnny Depp is on the stand and he said, oh, Adam Waldman told me this, or what, like gave instructions, or Adam Waldman this and that, then he's waiving it because it's he's the one that's doing so willingly, right? He isn't forced to do that. So he is waiving it because he's the one taking the initiative to do that. It says, similarly, calling the attorney to the stand does not result in a waiver unless the attorney is questioned as to the privileged matter. So I think that, and what I get from that personally is, you cannot just call the attorney to the stand and then it's waived, because that wouldn't make sense, right? And it just seems like a dirty tactic, like, oh, let's get him off the case so that we can depose him. Because I think even before he was off the case, they've been wanting to depose him, which, in all honesty, like, I think it's kind of an affront to the legal system. It's kind of embarrassing that the judge, he needs to really get a control on this case, because it's literally turning into a zoo, how he's allowing all of this to happen. And Amber can literally depose his lawyer and friend, but Johnny Depp can't seem to get Elon Musk to come and speak or do his deposition, even though he has firsthand knowledge of the facts. He saw and was with Amber around the time that she alleged that she was beaten, so he would be able to say, oh, her face was bruised, her face wasn't, or whatever the case may be. So I just think that's kind of messed up, and this is a girl that is used to just getting her way no matter what, and it's really disgusting. But I am really glad that it is going to be a jury trial, I'll tell you that much, because he will get a chance at a fair ruling that way, honestly. And then I saw that Amber was complaining that, oh, he was talking to the witnesses. Yeah, no shit, he's talking to the witnesses. That's literally his freaking job. That is your job, to talk to the witnesses. You question people, you find out information. That is literally his job. That is what a lawyer does. That's like, I can't. I really can't. And she's pissed off that he gives statements. Well, her lawyers gave statements, or two. In fact, her lawyer just gave a statement that she didn't donate her $7 million to charity like she said she would. So that was one really good statement. And that came from your lawyers. So you know that it's true. So I just think she's just trying to like throw shit at the wall. Just, you know, it's none of it is really even making too much sense at this point. I'm just shocked that she continues to get her way, but what can you do? I'm glad that they pushed it back. I'm glad that it's going to be a jury trial, and I think that's honestly Johnny's best bet. Yeah, it's turning into like a zoo, to be honest. Especially since I've been out of the game for a bit. It's definitely hard for me to follow all these weird demands, and but I don't know. I'm doing the best that I can. It says, Ms. Heard asserted blanket objections to clearly appropriate requests. She included improper limiting language that will drastically and impermissibly narrow the scope of any production, and she has produced no documents. Meanwhile, it says Johnny Depp has produced 18,000 pages, and she has the audacity to say that he has not provided adequate disclosure. Where is your disclosure? This is such an annoying tactic that people use. They point the finger. Like I said, plaintiff counsel, oh, you need to produce. Produce what? Produce what? How can I produce anything that will prove or disprove whether your client was injured? That's up to you. Like, that's up to you to do, sir. And I feel like that's exactly what Amber Heard's doing. She's doing that old tactic. And there's also the tactic where you try to bury them in paperwork and useless motions. It's like you're trying to kind of tire out the other party, like wear them down. I definitely think that's what's happening. Make them kind of give up and say it's not worth it. Mr. Depp respectfully requests that the court order Ms. Heard to provide supplemental responses without objections, remove her improper limiting language, and immediately produce documents. Mr. Depp also requests that Ms. Heard be sanctioned. I guess she's been doing lots of motions, and she hasn't been conferring properly with the other side. Like, she's just, without giving adequate notice, she like, the thought of it is so weird to me. She's like writes a letter, or doesn't even write a letter. She just goes and files a motion. That's so improper. You're supposed to write a letter and say, hey, can you, and you're supposed to be like polite about it, right? Like, oh, please kindly provide us with this by X date. Otherwise, we will be forced to do this. You give a deadline, you give the expectation, everyone's on the same page. She's not doing that. She's just like, oh, they didn't give me this. Off to court we go. So where's Miss Moneybags, you know, getting all this money? It's not cheap, because last time she tried to get Adam Waldman deposed, she didn't serve him with the proper amount of notice. So she had to pay, it looks like $22,000 to Johnny Depp's side for that. So that's for one motion. If you can only think about how much she's probably accumulated over the span of this whole entire thing. I don't know. I can't help but wonder if Mr. Elon Musk is funding her. I don't know, but I'm wondering. And if so, since he's going to be called to it, I feel like that could eventually come back to bite him in the ass, like be like a little bit of a conflict of interest or something. I don't know. I'm wondering how she's affording all of this. It's very expensive, trust me, because she's got a huge team of lawyers, and each individual lawyer is billing at their hourly rate, which God knows how much that is. Some are 200, some are 300, some are 500. So multiply that by many people and their paralegals and all those things like that. And then, of course, filing fees and all these things. It's very expensive. It's very, very expensive. It says, Ms. Heard agreed to produce documents, but improperly limited the scope by stating that she would only produce non-privileged documents in response to this request relevant to the statements at issue. In meet and confer discussions, Ms. Heard appeared to take the position that she only needs to produce documents that specifically relate to the 3 alleged statements by Mr. Depp's personal attorney, Adam Waldman, that formed the basis of the remaining portion of her surviving second counterclaim for defamation. Oh, the shade. Her surviving. Oh my God, the shade. But no, girl, like, especially when it comes to her counterclaim, like, that is your case. The onus is on you to build your case, to prove your case. You're not, in that case especially, she's not the respondent. She's the actual claimant. So she can't just give things that have to do with Adam. No, you have to prove what you're saying. So without you providing disclosure or backing up what you're saying, your case is going to flop. It's going to flop hard. It says this, for example, in response to RFP number 9, which seeks documents and communications that evidence or reflect the impact of any and all public statements by Adam Waldman on Ms. Heard's reputation and or career. Sorry, sweetie, if it's true, then it's fine. It's not defamation. If it's true. You know, he said that she didn't donate the money. Oh, really? Well, guess what? You didn't. Right? Your lawyer confirmed that. We know that that's true. You did not donate that $7 million. That's not defamation. That's just speaking facts. It says, Ms. Heard evidently intends to withhold any documents that do not specifically relate to one of the 3 statements that survived Mr. Depp's plea in bar. Girl, I don't know. I feel like maybe the judge is just so over it that he's just like exasperated and just allowing things just to go on. But at this point, he needs to put his foot down because she's making a mockery of the judicial system. And she thinks that, you know, she can say, oh, this and this and that, but she doesn't have to do it. Oh, Johnny Depp, 18,000 pages was not good enough. But to her, she's like, I'm only going to give things like that. It's your fucking case. Like, you have to give the things that back up what you're saying. Are you like, I feel like I'm on crazy pills. Like, how is the judge allowing this little girl to make such a mockery of his courtroom and just be walked all over? Is the judge a male? I feel like maybe he is, because I feel like girl judge, like, especially a girl to a girl, should probably be like, sweetie, not today. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't even know, to be honest. But I feel like the judge is a man. They always are, aren't they? Simps. And in turn, it's Adam Waldman is required to produce originals or exact copies of the following: all documents and communications supporting, reflecting, or otherwise relating to the statements made by you of the counterclaim and as contained in Exhibit F to the counterclaim. Please produce all documents and communications supporting, reflecting, or otherwise relating to statements made by you in paragraph 46 of counterclaim. Please produce all documents and communications supporting, reflecting, or otherwise relating to the statements made by you as alleged in 47 of the counterclaim. This is literally what the whole case is about, is him saying this and providing the facts. Him saying you didn't donate the money, and then it's proven that you didn't. That's literally what the case is. It's literally what the case is. Like, you make no sense. I don't know. I just feel like such desperation, like, emanating from her. Like, she's like a rabid cat in the corner or something, you know? That's literally the point of what a lawsuit is. That's literally the point of, like, he's saying this because he can back it up. Do you think a lawyer's gonna just go to the media and say something and not back it up? No, I don't think so. So I don't know, she might be shooting herself in the foot, but I mean, whatever these things are, they're going to come out sooner or later. But I just think collectively they need to push past this the stage in the trial of just this back and forth, like, time wasting bullshit. It's like, show us what you got, like, your evidence. I think maybe once they get the depositions over with, then it's like they will have everything down. And for the depositions, they are basically going to make note of things that have been said, you know, well, specifically for, say, like someone like Amber, where even on the last court case, she contradicted herself from one day to the next, like, so bad her story would change. So I would think that they would kind of make a note of that and say, like, when she's being deposed, ask her things, you know, about that. See, does her story change again? Things like that. Because that can actually be used as evidence in trial when you depose someone. So that is one way of, you know, gathering evidence. So all of this is working towards building this case against her. So I don't know. Adam Waldman is pretty resourceful. So I think he definitely does have the attorney-client privilege working against him. So I kind of think that maybe he wants to be deposed, because I really think that there's no way that he couldn't have gotten out of it if he didn't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, he could have got like out of it if he wanted to, because he's still an advisor. Even though he's not like formally on it, he's still advising the case, and there's definitely no bad blood between him and Johnny. So I have a feeling that maybe this is what he wants, because, you know, instead of having to put, especially now that he's not actually the lawyer on file or on the case anymore, he'll be able to have a bigger platform, because he's been kind of quiet, actually been really quiet. He was just on Twitter, but now he can actually spit some facts. He'll be like, okay, bitch, here's this. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Adam Waldman that he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He seems to always be a couple steps ahead. So I wouldn't be surprised if he almost low-key wants this to happen, you know, because he could have gotten out of it. I'm very confident, unless the Virginia court system is just off its rocker or something. But yeah, I guess things are going to get really interesting then. But yeah, I'm actually really happy that the case got pushed back. And also, it's like another year of this. I don't know. It is kind of entertaining and everything. It's I don't know. And I'm sure a lot of the other content creators discussing are happy too. I mean, I know it might seem like, oh no, justice is delayed, but no, trust me. I think it would have been way worse for Johnny if they had the trial. What was it supposed to be, May? No, it's not possible. They're still in the stage of the back and forth, fishing for documents stage, so they're not ready. So I'm quite happy that it got pushed back. I think it's going to be good, and hopefully COVID will be over way before then. But yeah, the important thing is he secured the jury trial, so I'm very optimistic. But yeah, I guess that's it for today. It feels really good to be back and making more videos. I plan to do more. I just need to make more time for things that make me happy, and definitely making videos that makes me happy, and talking to you guys makes me really happy. And I guess when you do law stuff for work, it's like difficult, but you just have to make time for what you like, and sometimes it's hard to do that, especially with the state of the world. But yeah, I will be having more videos coming up, and I'll keep you guys updated. Comment down below on your thoughts, your predictions. Do you think that Adam kind of wants to be deposed? What do you think? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate your support as always. You guys are honestly the best, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.